See you. Paul Kunkemuller, I'm the chair of the City of Groton Zoning Commission, calling our meeting Tuesday, August 18th, 2026 to order at 6:31 p.m. All right, first item on our agenda is roll call. I am here. Ms. Bergeron is here. Bob Forrest is here. Colleen Lothrop is here. Mary Lowe is here. Mr. Rusk is not here. And Andrea Edelman is not here. All right, next item on the agenda is approval of the planning and zoning minutes from July 21st of 2026. Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Motion from Mr. Boris. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mrs. Lowe. All right, so motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Anybody have any changes? Comments, corrections? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes from the planning and zoning meeting of July 21st, 2026, please say aye. Aye. All right. Mrs. Edelman has arrived. So we're voting on approving the minutes from, you're good?
Yes.
The minutes from last month. All right. So that's approved 6-0-0. All right. Next up is the staff report.
So pretty much the only thing I had for staff report is I referred the zoning reg and bylaws to the attorney on July 23rd. He says he will review them. Have not heard back from him. I tried to reach out to him again today. I got pinged with and I'm out of office until Monday, August 24th. So if he has any comments prior to the public hearing, then I will let you guys know. But as far as I know, I have no comment right now.
Okay. And it's, I mean, I think the fact that what we've done is we were looking for his input on, are we compliant with the new statute, right? And I'm fairly confident that that's the case.
And we would have the public hearing even if we didn't have his comments.
Yeah, because it's not mandatory to refer to the attorney, but the other referrals are mandatory. Yeah.
So yeah, I would suggest we go ahead with the public hearing so we could be compliant with the state statute. Anything else?
It's pretty much my staff report.
Okay. All right. So the next item on the agenda is zoning regulations update for the final review for sections 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I guess we'll just go through section by section and see if anybody has any questions. Jill, do you have something that you want to put up that we can?
Yeah, we can.
In case people, I mean, I think we'll go by section. If anybody has a question or comment about anything, just bring it up.
Do you want us to address, oh, thank you so much. Do you want us to address like comments where the cross references are wrong or the section heading is wrong, like meaning it doesn't track or the numbers haven't been updated correctly? Like, do you want to talk about that right now? Or
so there's a clean version where all the numbers are all pretty good. I can actually pull it up right now.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I just didn't know if we wanted to use the time to do stuff like that or do only more substantive comments.
Probably more substantive because the formatting will be here until 4 a.m.
So in terms of formatting stuff, how do you want to handle that? Or you're just
so with the clean version, I just cleaned it up all there because the markups and everything is just all jumbled. So
and do you include in that things, for example, where I noticed there's some check marks in shaded areas, meaning like those check marks should be removed because
those are cleaned up. So here is what the clean version would look like. I've just been holding off on sharing this because the attorney's comments I'm waiting on. But like where the marks are. But yeah, like you can see, like it's all cleaned up here and all nice and so it's ready to go. maybe here, I'll fix it. I'll definitely do one final run through or maybe get another set of eyes on it formatting wise, but yeah, it exists.
I can send you my formatting comments if you want to, if you want.
Yeah, but-
I'll do that. Just send it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do it separately too as an email,
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
I don't want to waste everybody's time.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. All right, so let's start with, anybody have anything on section 2.2, the definitions?
I do. One is just a punctuation thing. Under developable land, number 4, there's an end parentheses that's in the wrong place. There you go, honey. Sorry, I called you honey. I call everybody honey, don't you worry.
I work in rural towns, it's okay.
Yeah, number 4, the end parentheses should come after space area quote. I believe. Minimum open space area, end parentheses.
Oh.
I think that's it, that's the sense of the thing.
Resource dash restricted. I think it meant these are in the parentheses and then this is also parentheses, so that's probably why that's there.
I think if you just move the parentheses to in front of the words is larger, you got your intention. Because the resource and the minimum open space, they were intended to be in the parentheses.
We need the parentheses?
Yeah, and now I look at it, I don't think that we need the parentheses, because these look like these are meant to be in quotes.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know why you would need the parentheses at all.
Okay.
Straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments?
I had a general comment on the section. There's no, well, actually, one comment I have, there's no page numbers on anything.
Yeah.
But, on the definition, there's like a big block of related terms, residential lodging facilities. It's more of a kind of overarching comment, which is when you look at all the regs, you use the term boarding house, rooming, rooming, lodging, but you never use the word unit, even though unit is in the definition of lodging. It's under R. It's like a big block under residential lodging facilities after repair service. So, yeah, right there.
Okay.
And what's the term that's missing?
Unit, the capital unit, because we use boarding house, rooming, boarding, rooming, and lodging, but they never use the term unit when they're describing boarding, rooming, or lodging. And I don't know how important that is, but I just wanted to call it out because it's not a frequent occurrence. It's very infrequent, but it doesn't use the word unit, so it doesn't use the full definition.
Well, I think there is something that refers to lodging units.
Yeah,
It's about hotels, because then we say there has to be a parking
Yeah, but I don't think they use the word unit.
for every lodging unit.
yeah, I think that this is part of the definition to kind of demonstrate the difference of when people are referring to boarding house, rooming house. I think that the unit is there because it's a building or portion thereof.
Right.
But I think it's there because so that way, in case someone's referring to a certain unit out of the lodging, that's
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
later, the term boarding, rooming, or lodging is used, but without the word unit. So I just was calling it out because then to some extent, it doesn't refer back to the definition. That's all. So if you see boarding, rooming, or lodging, that term, I would add maybe the word unit so that it was clear that it refers back to the definition.
And what section is the boarding room or lodging where the
And
units-
definitely it's in 7 in the parking part area. I can't remember where else. I would call, and when I send you kind of the nitty changes, I can call that out, but I was just searching for definitions to define like stuff, yeah.
Yeah, any nitty changes that can just be solved in an email, just send to me via email.
Yeah.
Just be here for you.
Yeah, but I just wanted to call that out as a general, like.
I have something to bring up. In the definitions under D, there's a page that says dwelling related terms under the Ds. It's a box. I think some of these little bitty pictures are repeated.
Oh, are you talking about,
It's the little images. It's under, yeah,
There's two.
yeah.
so that's actually a markup. This picture was meant to be deleted, and then this is going to be a new picture that's gonna go in. We had to revise this because in our regs and part of the building code, basements aren't allowed. So, or basement ADUs aren't allowed. So that's why there's two pictures there. The clean version does not have two pictures. So.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I saw some repetition, that's why.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have yet another question under, this is under institutional residential facilities. The box, institutional residential facilities. As you see, with assisted living, community residential counseling and so on. One thing I'm a little confused about, there's one mention of group homes. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4th paragraph down. This definition shall not include correctional institutions, halfway houses, group homes. Group homes isn't really defined, but what I am more interested in is, I don't see anywhere in these definitions, a type of place that is, may not exist in this city. A type of place where there's a group home for people like with developmental disabilities, like, Down syndrome type people. Those types of group homes, supportive housing.
Independent, whatever it is.
Yeah, supportive housing for someone with developmental disabilities. Congregate housing kind of approaches that. But it's limited for people over 62 years old.
So for that, the reason why that's there is because there is a statute saying that we have to treat group care and halfway houses and anything under this category as a residential. And there's wording to this that we basically cannot prohibit that kind of activity and I'll triple my words here, but it's that has to be in there to acknowledge the fact that we are just prohibiting group homes, halfway houses, and all those other programs. So it's a statutory thing. That's why it's in there.
Okay, this definition shall not include, where it says shall not include correctional institutions, halfway houses, group homes.
Yeah, because they're protected under a certain statute for zoning.
Do housing groups for Down syndrome, are those considered halfway houses, considering there are people there that do supervise them? I mean, I know they live by themselves, but there's usually one.
Yeah, those
group
are the types of facilities that the statute's referring to. Yeah, the like caretaking in
in the halfway house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is that the word for it, halfway house?
I don't really have the experience to say.
I mean, I think of a halfway house as people coming out of prison.
Yeah,
In my awareness, and I think of group homes as people with supported.
It says State Correctional Department of Health and Addiction Services.
So I'm not really sure where in this, all these definitions, some people who, this may not exist in the city. But say a supported living environment for people with developmental disabilities. Is that included here somewhere?
Are those governed under the Department of Health?
I don't know.
yeah, but basically this has to be mentioned because of that statute. We can't just prohibit or say we don't have room for them or the state's character. We have to treat them as if it's basically like residential application.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Does this include those?
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
State Department. State of Connecticut Department of Health.
I'm sorry,
Is
say
it the
again.
bottom,
In the bottom one.
the bottom one for
Or the
housing?
State of Connecticut Department of Health and Addiction.
I get it.
So they
Okay.
wouldn't be treated as in, so the ones that says this definition shall not include correctional institutions.
Yeah.
and all the
Yeah.
other above,
Yeah.
they can't be treated the same way as if there's an application for this, they would have to be treated as a residential application, so that's why it's there saying this definition shall not include. So that way we're not reading it as if, it's a assisted living or community residential counseling, basically one of those.
All right, thank you.
I do think we should check and see if there is a different term for that now, because that is back to the 50s.
Halfway house.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, it doesn't seem to apply actually to people who are, you know,
Developmentally, yeah.
developmentally disabled and therefore,
Seems like it's addiction or
yeah. It
represent.
seems the halfway house seems like a different focus. Is it? I mean, is there a definition of group homes that, you know, could typically be used? And inserted, I mean, we don't, the thing is, we don't call that out anywhere else in the regulations, correct? Is that?
Yeah,
If you play search group homes, I wouldn't be find it anywhere else.
right, yeah.
Because we would just treat those as residential. I mean, that's the way it works.
Yeah, by the, whatever the statute says, that's how we're gonna treat it.
All right.
So you don't think it should be under the Department of Health?
Well, I guess it could be, but I don't know if this was the State Department of Health or are group homes, are they regulated by the State Department of Health? I don't actually know. So. Is
Not
that,
too sure about, but yeah, somehow there was a statute that was passed that protects all these. But that's as far as I know. Yeah, but
all right, so, do we need to, so the question is, should we add a definition of group homes in here?
I think we should leave it alone for now, because I'm not too. Like, I don't want to mess with anything statutory for that, because I see that this has probably been added for that, so that's not something I would want to mess with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As long as we wouldn't be excluding them if they came up.
I think we're pretty aligned with that statute for these, from what I'm reading here.
All right, what else? Anything else, section 2? All right. Let's move on to section 3. Comments on section 3? Would be easy if you started from the top. If you have one.
I have kind of a just really basic question. What is the difference between 5.1 and 5.2?
There's a couple of, there are a couple of uses that are different.
Okay,
That's the, yeah, because we looked at that actually.
okay, because,
It
it's,
doesn't make sense to eliminate.
you can't eliminate it, but at the same time, it wasn't clear to me.
Right, well, we looked, it doesn't make sense to have just R5 instead of R51 and R52.
Yeah.
There are a couple of differences.
Okay.
Use.
I mean, when you look at the map, color coded map, it's clear, you can see the density difference, but when you look at the table, there was no real difference, so it wasn't clear to me.
Yeah, on the dimensions table, they're the same. That's what sparked the conversation.
Okay, so, all right, I don't need to repeat that then.
I guess, you know, my question about this is, you know, the fact that we, the way our table reads in 3.2.b, right, it's the first one. This one. It seems to me that this is not really consistent with the need for middle housing, right? To say you can't have one family, semi-detached or two family dwellings in R12, R8, and R51, because those are certainly 12 and 8 are the bigger lot sizes, which could accommodate, a larger building, but that's a policy question, not a formatting question.
Yeah.
So anybody else have any thoughts on that about, maybe we're on one hand, we're trying to.
I was a little curious about it, but the only thing you're adding is the two family attached. So historically, obviously, it's been that way for a long time. I don't know how long it's been that way. That was one question I kind of had in the back of my mind, but I didn't think it was for today's discussion. But because I was looking at what the sum total of the changes were in here, we're just adding.
Right. That's not a change. It's been that way.
Yeah, it's been that way for a long time, and I don't know. I guess my question was, how long has it been that way?
I don't know when it was originally put in.
Yeah.
But in today's world, where we're looking to put in like middle housing, and this is these type of things would be the kind of units that I believe are needed based on what presentations I've been to that the town has put on.
Is it based on the location of 5.2 and RM, or is it based on something else? Like, meaning like to transit, for example?
So the bill, at least the bill's terms of middle housing and where the bill wants it to go is in the commercial zones. And it would be commercial and mixed use residential zones is where the bill targets for it to be. We just made these changes because the 5.2 zone and then the RM zone, they didn't allow two family attached dwellings. So we basically.
Meaning because they allowed two family detached, so.
Yeah, so this
Why
isn't
can't they have?
required by the stat.
Yeah,
But the new
that was pretty logical, basic logic, yeah.
this was one of those like basic logic decisions.
Yeah.
I made that.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll leave it as.
But your question is a broader question.
Right.
Which I don't know if we can solve it today, but it's a kind of maybe a historical question.
Can we solve it today? I mean, because I think I'm with you on that, Paul. I think opening that up, especially in our residential areas, makes a lot of sense. Especially since these are kind of the next step. It's not a big jump from, an industrial area to a residential. It's just residential to slightly denser residential.
Right, and that these are lots that are currently, it basically only allow single family homes. And so we would be allowing essentially two family homes on them if we made a change. It doesn't seem radical to me, but it's consistent with what the need is, but I don't know what we could get feedback on it at the public hearing if we made the change.
Yeah,
But
we could make change tonight. It really is up to you guys where you want the check marks to be. And any concerns, they can be addressed at the public hearing if anybody does have any concerns, but if you guys want to put in more check marks in this box, I'm for it, so.
Other comments?
I'd like to kind of understand it a little more first. I mean, I can see the logic behind it, two family attached, two family detached, is pretty simple. But before we go making checks in 12.8 and 5.1, I guess I'd like to understand why historically it's been sitting like this. if there's just a institutional reason or if there's a practical reason.
Yeah, I think I,
Having to do, I don't know, I mean, having to do, I don't know, sewer, water, transit, I don't know what the reason was.
yeah, that could be the case. It also, it historically, single family sheltering has been protected and siloed in zoning across America.
Yeah, no, definitely, but 5.2 it's pretty much housing, I mean, pretty much neighborhood stuff, so. I'm not sure why it gets singled out.
I think because 5.2 already had like more check marks for two-family detached dwellings, so there's already two-family permitted in 5.2. So this would just allow for.
No, I know, but I'm asking.
So why do 5.2 have more, have two family houses rather
Exactly.
than 5.1?
Originally, yeah.
Originally, I do not know.
I have no idea why that is.
Yeah.
It's I don't know that there's any rationale for it other than, there was a desire to,
Or some guy was housing his mother-in-law or something, I mean, I don't know, like, it's something that,
yeah.
basic.
I have no, I mean, I don't remember ever discussing this and, when we looked at the regulations in the past. So I don't think it's come up. And I raised it because of, the housing need issue and one of the conclusions that I think that the town has come to, at least in some of the, based on some of the consulting work that's been done, is that, there really is a need for these, these smaller, middle housing units, which are like 2 to 9 qualifies now by the state. But we are being mandated to let them those into other areas, so you wanna, I can go either way on this, but I raise it as a point of debate. Bob, do you have any thoughts on it? I guess not.
Oh, sorry. I was just reading on the,
Do you have any feelings about the allowing two-family attached dwellings in the R 12.8.5.1?
I don't have anything.
Or any other?
So it's the question before us. I want to just clarify. The question before us is whether to include the two-family attached in R12, R8, and 5.1. Is that the question?
Two-family, well, it would be the two-family attached and the two-family detached.
Uh-huh.
All the two families, all two-family houses in those.
So we'd want to be talking about adding check marks in those boxes.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about.
What's the argument not to?
It's always been that way. It sounds like. Well, I mean, that's
Public hearings.
yeah.
We don't know why this table looks this way and how long it's looked this way.
Yeah, okay.
And I guess that's why I'm more conservative in the sense that I don't like to mess with something unless I understand like why it was that way to begin with.
Actually, I was just asking that.
If it's purely historical behavior or if it's some other rationale, yeah.
I was more saying that rhetorically, like,
Yeah.
why not? I wasn't asking for an answer. I was saying, why should there not be?
It's okay.
Well, and I don't know any actual rationale for why that would be.
But the check-in and public hearing, people could talk about it. I mean, I would skew on be more allowable, and the public can have the comment about it.
What's the one family semi-detached?
Yeah, I was wondering, that was really what I was wondering, actually, while I'm sitting there thinking about. Normally that would be a row house, but that would imply that you had a series of connected homes, so.
Yeah, that's, I was trying to,
Friend. Don't put one eye in it.
I'm flipping back to definitions.
Yeah,
I
okay.
see all this detached stuff.
One family detached dwelling is a dwelling accommodating one dwelling unit and having no party walls or walls in common with an adjacent house or houses.
Yeah, we're talking about the the one family.
Right.
semi.
One
Yeah,
family
one
semi-detached
vertical.
is having one vertical party wall in common with an adjacent house. The two houses together accommodating two dwelling units, one on either side of the vertical party wall.
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense.
It's a duplex. It's a duplex.
It's not a duplex because there's another,
Yeah, the way I would,
the two family attached dwelling is,
Well, so so two-family attached dwelling was had.
yeah, so the way I would interpret this would be an ADU being attached. It's not technically two-family, but it is an attached dwelling to that, so I would assume that this is what it's referring to is you can have an ADU,
or shared wall.
yeah, with a shared wall and a two-family is anything bigger than one ADU standards would be. So that's kind of how I read it, interpret, but
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Only because we just started dealing with the ADUs. that
Right.
We would be adding.
right.
Well, ADUs are actually allowable anywhere.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
So we might
exactly.
as well allow them.
Come everyone jump in the pool.
So the way I read this is that if somebody comes and asks for an ADU application and says, you know, what are my options? I would just kind of refer to one family semi-detached dwelling as, yes, this is permitted in this zone. Here's how you can do it, but yeah.
Yeah, and again, the regulations that there was a statute, right, that if you didn't opt out of allowing ADUs, then they're allowed, right, and we did not opt out.
Right.
The city did not opt out, so they're allowed, and it's not restricted to any particular zone.
Yeah,
As I understand it.
so we can
Right.
probably put the check mark in for all of these, just to be consistent with the fact that we are, I'm for that. Anybody opposed?
No, anybody opposed?
No.
What's that? You are?
You are?
For number two,
The only.
not 3 and 4, but number 2.
The only reason I'm opposed is because we added that to family attached dwelling, which means when we went through this before, we discussed this. And we must have had reasons as to why we put it in the boxes we did. So, you know, saying, well, I guess it's this, I guess it's that, let's change it all. That's my only hesitation.
I think the question on the table is just item 2, one family semi-detached dwelling.
Well, they just got done saying, should we put the check marks everywhere?
No, just in 2, right? Is that what you're asking?
We'll cross that for you, that one.
Starting with just with 2, do we want check marks in that one?
Like I said, I'm not opposed, but I'm very hesitant considering I know it was discussed.
Which one family semi-detached dwellings?
No.
Oh,
This
okay.
we added, so
Right.
we discussed this at one
Right.
point.
So right now we're talking about, should we put check marks in number 2? Okay, and then I guess we'll go on to 3 and 4.
So how do you see 2 working like operatively?
It would just be more consistent with the ADU permitting.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, so are you thinking of a one family semi-detached dwelling as an attached ADU?
Yeah, pretty much.
And the family members are related or not related?
Because for the ADU, since we did not opt out, they could be unrelated.
They can be unrelated.
And we, as long as it meets all the zoning requirements like setbacks and things like that, we don't have any grounds to deny them.
Right.
Correct? If I understand correctly. So, yeah, I mean, it certainly, to me, it makes sense to put the check marks in the one family semi-detached dwelling. Because that's essentially already allowed, we're just formalizing.
So it would be like a second home on the same lot, but attached.
Well.
What you might call an in-law apartment, for example.
Well, yeah, it's semi-detached, I think, that, to be semi-detached, it has to have its own entrance.
Yeah, but there's some shared something or wall somewhere or another.
Yeah.
Why does one family semi-detached say it's two dwelling units for one family? It seems contradictory, one
Because
family,
it's like an in-law suite.
is that what it is?
Yeah, so if it's another unit, basically, it does get counted as another dwelling unit. This is one of those, when you're zoning officer, it's so fun.
A granny apartment, as they're called, or something.
Yeah, so the way that when somebody comes to me and it's saying like, should I put an ADU, should I put in two, or like they're talking about an ADU. It gets to a point where the ADU size is I'll say we have a rule saying ADUs can go up to 35% of the principal dwelling. So if that goes over it, then it would be considered a two-family, but if it's under that size of principal dwelling, then it is a ADU. That's kind of more I draw the line of it,
Anything
but
under the size or some percentage under the size?
the percentage under size. So for us, we go by the state standard, so it's 35% is the limitation for the size.
For the ADU?
Yeah.
Okay. But number two wouldn't necessarily be an ADU because it doesn't say that. It says one family semi-detached dwelling. So theoretically, does that mean it could be the same size?
No. Because then it would be a two-family if it's the same size.
Okay.
So it is an ADU.
Yes.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I'm just poking it to try to understand
Yeah.
what the limitations
No,
are.
no, it's an odd definition. It's an odd, well, it's an odd term. I know.
Do we need to keep the term? Just throwing that.
I would say for now, keep it, because then we'd have to do a whole aging term and then kind of reward this, so where the accessory dwelling units, detached, attached, we can do that, just.
Fine, just throw it up.
All right, so we're gonna put check marks in two, is that correct?
I believe so.
We're good with that?
Yeah.
And I am in agreement with Sue about the two-family, we did discuss it, and I am hesitant on it, but you know, if anybody.
But I actually don't, I don't recall the discussion, so.
I don't recall it either, that's why.
So we did talk about this, the two-family attached dwelling, but we didn't talk about anything with two-family detached dwelling, but I know we did have the discussion with two-family attached dwelling where I explained the party wall definition and then, yes, so that's where we had that discussion and then permitted.
Well, I would say in my neighborhood, there's literally no room for two-family detached dwellings because there's barely room for one-family detached dwellings on the size of the lots because they're generally about 0.1 acre.
Yeah, so wherever they can fit them, they can fit them, but
Right, and
if
that's
they want.
right, that's the thing, they have to fit within the site anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have to meet all the coverage.
Yeah.
And all the setback requirements.
good.
I'm just saying the size of the unit would be prohibitively small.
Right, but that's not our question is like, do we allow it if there is a lot that's big enough?
Yeah,
that-
but I mean, then you would have two incredibly tiny, like so tiny units,
Like the ones we just put up for Sue.
like two sheds.
Well, it's a mother-in-law apartment.
No, I'm saying where it's two family
Two-family,
detached
okay.
in like a 5,000 square foot zone.
Mhm.
They would be like two tool sheds attached to each other.
It's already allowed in 5.2.
No, I know, but I'm wondering if there's actually any examples of that.
Circle. Circle there, is it? Or they just put those two houses.
They're not, they're separate.
They're a separate lot.
Especially
Lots.
Yeah, but they're separate lots.
I'm just saying, we can put a house on there.
You know, I don't know if there actually exists a 3 and 5 2.
Yeah, so I don't know that, well, I don't know that there is anything like that in 5.2. I've never, looked, but, nothing would surprise me,
Right.
I guess. Especially with things that were, maybe built pre-zoning, but, I don't, I know I can't cite an example.
Yeah.
I don't, if we allow these kind of, if we allow them in 5.2, why wouldn't we allow them in 5.1? And if we allow them in 5.1, why wouldn't we allow them on larger lots? Where they would actually fit better. I think that's the, I mean, so if you carry the logic, right, they're allowed in 5.2. So 5.1 sizes are the same. And R8 and R12 are bigger and could more easily accommodate. That was, I guess that's my rationale for us of bringing this up. Between that and the.
Taylor, could you just kindly indulge me and remind me of what's the difference with the separate and common entrances for these things? Is that important? The separate entrance, the common entrance?
So for each dwelling unit, they have to have their own separate entrance.
Yeah,
But
in all of these cases, in all of these categories?
in these ones, but if it's like a apartment building.
Yeah.
or multifamily, then yeah, that's all. Like I know that there's a common like a hallway.
Yeah, I'm just asking about what's up here on the screen.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, but we did, and so on the housing block, we saw 2 family units that had one common
Oh, yeah,
entrance,
and
and then they split
Yeah.
after you get in the building,
Mhm.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
we saw examples of that
Yeah.
that currently exist,
Mhm.
and
It's
so those are out
usually-
there.
that's a case that's handled by the building code and the fire code. When that does happen. I know that there is fire marshal review, 3 families and above. And then same thing with building code, they usually have egress standards for these kinds of developments, but that's where it all get.
That was Groton Bank. What zone is that?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I'm sure
Is
based
it-
on the lot size, it's
is it
5.1
GCR?
and 5.2. No,
No, it's not GCR.
Groton Bank, listen, not GC.
I don't know.
No,
That part we were at the top,
Because-
I'm not sure.
no, I don't, no, because the GCR zones had all been commercial before.
Oh, I see.
So anything that's now GCR was GC before it was GCR just allowed it to have homes built on it. All right, so again, like, as I said, from my perspective, the logic is if 5.2 can accommodate them, then, 5 they should be able to be accommodated in 5.1 and even more so in R8 and R12.
I agree.
Colleen,
I agree.
Sue,
I agree.
I'm okay with 2, but not 3 and 4. Without understanding, it's been like this for so long, I don't need more history, I don't feel comfortable just throwing check marks in there
Where
for just
would you-
randomness.
Where would you feel comfortable getting that history from?
I guess,
We're not suggesting.
Yeah, that history is something I probably don't have, because from what I understand, when people did create zoning regulations, there might have been pre-existing things in the neighborhood, that they did not factor into when they did make these zoning regulations, like that's something that you would have to dig up a lot of minutes for, it's a.
Groton Bank is 5.2.
And where they would, so that's where you get the information,
Yeah.
is minutes.
That's probably why it's got a check mark, because Groton Bank is 5.2, so they probably put a check mark there because it already existed at the time they created the regulations. The 2 family detached houses.
the 2 family detached, okay, so we're talking about all right. but we're talking, so again, if they can be accommodated in a 5-2. 5-1 lots are the same size and the other lots are big, so
Right,
I'm still gonna, you know. I you know. I don't know what the reason was that they were originally not allowed, but I suspect it was a desire to keep the neighborhoods as single family only.
Yeah.
But I don't know that for a fact, but
Right.
I would guess that was it, because I don't know what the other,
But if you take an R8 lot and you put two separate detached houses on it, aren't you just creating another R5 zone? You know what I'm saying? Like you're effectively creating an R5.
well, you are allowing more dense housing on it, yeah. But you're not creating that, well,
You're de facto creating an R5.
well, you're de facto allowing it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So with the minutes, if you were to go all the way back and look through and try to find why they made this decision, sometimes not even recorded.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure.
So it's a very,
I'm just saying, like,
reasoning would be hard to get.
I'm just saying that this like the tail wagging the dog situation, because we're saying like, why does R5-2 have all these check marks? And I'm saying probably they have it that way because they were already existing. That's why they checked the boxes, not because they were trying to create more housing opportunity in 5-2. It's because it already, those types of housing already existed, where they didn't exist in the other ones.
Right, I'm on board with you there.
Okay.
I understand that. But my point is, if they can be managed in 5-2, they could be managed in 5-1, right?
But yes, but in principle, 5-2 is a dense, like already has those houses and is a dense area. So now you're talking about 12-8 and 5-1. So it's just a question of,
Right.
do you want an increased density
Right.
that much?
It would increase density.
So that effectively you're getting rid of 12 and 8 because you're making them all like 5s by allowing all this additional housing, large housing because
well,
of
you're
lot
not really
coverage.
getting rid of them because they're still larger lots.
Yeah, but
It's
you're
still-
letting, but the larger lots have larger coverage dimensions, so you're letting. I'm just trying to say like how it's gonna play out, but perhaps, yeah.
Well, I mean, you would allow more dense, which is, I guess given the housing situation is something that's, the people are looking at doing in order to solve the problem that the community has. Right, that's.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal of,
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's the goal of the latest housing bill.
So my I guess when I was looking at this, it's legal for us to do this. We don't have to, the law doesn't say we have to allow, more dense housing in these zones. But it would be consistent with the statute and the direction that the statute is trying to take us, and with the local need to allow that, and without, and it wouldn't turn all the I don't think it would turn all the R8s and R12s into R5s, but there may be some that do end up more dense.
Well, and I would just think, just because we're allowing it, doesn't mean a lot of people are gonna take it up. We still have a big backyard setback and other constraints on all this other stuff, so. I don't see any of this generating a stampede of people doing, but it's an opportunity, will create something, some motion, but there's, it's not gonna be,
No.
row homes.
Right.
There's very few that are in the GCR zone, yeah. So what's the consensus is we put check marks in?
I agree.
Good.
No.
No vote.
No.
I'm okay with it, Bob.
Well, we'll know at the public hearing if anybody has any concerns.
We can put.
Well, I know
X marks.
voted, I.
People be like, what's it do?
Conflict, because I could drive, I mean, I'm new to the commission, so I'm not as steeped in what the area looks like, so for me. I would like to drive around a little and kind of see what's I can do, but that's just the way I think about things, I like to kind of,
That I
Project.
with that,
yes.
because it's like, I know there was a discussion, I know we did it this way for a reason.
I was not here for that discussion, so.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But if you let me finish, I'm sorry, but I would rather be able to go out and take the time, like you said, to look at these places.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you can always come back and make these changes later, isn't the final be all end all. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be a change made tonight if the whole commission is not completely on board with it and needs more time to. Because we can revisit the zoning regulations later, right? It's always.
Yeah,
So, yeah, if everybody just wants to keep that.
I mean, if everybody else is in agreement.
Right.
Well, everybody.
We also have a public hearing where people can come out and say where they want this from us, so I kind of am leaning towards more adding the check marks for now and having people come out and say their spiel, and that's something that we can easily fix and say like, okay, well, we guys don't want this, it's not like we have to because it's not by state law. It's just a suggestion basically for people to hear act on comments on, so.
Yeah, look at how good they're being.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they're accommodating.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right.
We'll go.
So we'll put them in and see what the public has to say.
Yes. We're not offended if you. Go otherwise or think out otherwise. Why is he's not?
That's assuming people know what's on the ring.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's it.
On a formatting note, these sections, we have check marks and boxes. But I think in the other sections for the different zones, we had a table that said
Yep.
E,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
Special permit, so that, I know that would be quite an effort to convert these, but I do find that the way that we did it on other zones.
These,
easier.
because these have the heading, that's why, if you go
Yeah.
through, it says zoning building permit required.
Right, yes, no,
Yeah.
I understand how the tables
Yeah.
work, but it's different from the way we've done it in the other ones, and
Yep.
this one means we have to cross-reference. And.
No,
say-
it's because the heading tells you right from the get-go.
Right,
Yeah.
yep, I see it, yeah, I see the heading, but you have to reference multiple tables to figure out which one goes with which. Rather than having just one table that shows you all the uses and then tells you what permit is required for that one.
yeah, I get what Colleen's saying with the whole. You basically have to look at the and then cross-reference with the header. Meanwhile, with the section 4, it's like, this is permitted by site plan, this is permitted by this, so it's like use tables, and that's more common across the board, at least I've been seeing with other zoning changes for other towns. But
It's just consolidated, same
Yeah.
information, just in a different.
yeah, I can see what I would come up with the formatting if I don't get around to it, yeah, that's okay, yeah, it's not the end of the world. But, yeah, I'll see what I can do if it looks kind of consistent, with. I know what you're talking about with the whole setup and everything with the, yeah.
And just to be consistent within our own,
Yeah.
document.
Cause I can see why this was set up a certain way, and maybe it might be, I don't know, it's one of those things you'll play with and. Okay, see, but.
Under special permit, so according to mine on 11, according to the one I'm looking for, you've got a check mark in a gray box there.
Oh, yeah, I think that's fixing the thing version with the
Okay.
chemical marks in the gray box with you.
Okay, so the check mark stays there, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else, anything in three? I've got it. We're adding two. What's that?
If there's more shaded with check marks.
Where else do we have
The
shaded?
check marks will stay, but.
Check marks and stay for computing.
Three B.
And I can send the clean version that does exist, I was doing the attorney's comments, so in case anybody has any. I'll go get the fine from them.
All right. Yeah, okay, so that's a 3.3A is a, that's just a, that was just a. Cleaned everything up the side yard and front yard.
Yeah.
Okay. On the dimensional standards on R12. So we took out we're gonna take out that whole break column, correct?
Yep.
And so you scroll up a little bit. So we don't really need the permitted uses line in the table either,
Oh,
right?
yeah, for the,
That whole row can go, cause there's not any. All the uses in there are permitted,
yeah,
right?
I
There's no
would
special permit requirement,
just change the title from permitted uses to bulk requirements.
okay.
Yeah.
But the other tables like the RA, they don't have that, they just say,
Right,
they don't have that line at all.
yeah, figure probably. Or. Anybody have any other suggestions or?
Keep scrolling down, cause some of these had like so the tape, the footnote formatting is good, okay. So one version that's now the footnote formatting is off.
I think like section 7 is off.
This one, I think the table needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah.
In 3.4B, is there a note? Is there no with the?
No. The other thing about, well, 3.4, so what section can you go to the footnotes? Kelly? So I think the correct section is now is it 6.2 or 6.3 that has this? I think it's 6.3. That. Okay, so multifamily in this version is still 6.2. Right? Multifamily standards. Okay, so that's all right, and that's what their lots are. All right, so 6.2 is the correct
Cross-reference.
cross-reference. So you were asking about note 1. I don't see anything that says note 1 in any of these tables, but a lot of them have the same section 8.3 about the dimension standards. So, that apparently applies to the setback. That's right. So it's not actually noted, what it applies to. It just says, basically that note to me, that says there may be flexibility if they look at section 8.3.
Yeah.
About some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
So are we keeping it?
I would keep it just because it's a reference. As long as 8.3 is the right place to go.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it talks about like weird shaped lots and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's non-conforming useful structure.
For some reason or other, I think I was stuck on it before and it might have been up here. Because I thought, oh, there it is, but it was confused.
Oh, yeah, the C note too, and then the, yeah.
All right, anybody else? Section 3? All right, section 4.
I have a comment we'll get before too, but I'll wait. till we get
Okay. We're there.
there. We're there.
Yeah.
4 to item 16. I think it's incomplete. Let me see. 4 to
Dot what? 4 2, and then what letter?
the one that talks about warrants to, I don't know why I had item 16, but
I see 5 corners, but
no, I don't know. It's the one that talks about 9 units.
Right there.
It should state up to, oh, yours says 3 to 9, okay, so maybe my version, no, that's number 12. Whatever version I had said, it didn't say, it just said 9 units without up to 9 units, but maybe it's just the way it came through.
So,
Oh, I think you're talking about this.
Yeah, right there, sorry, okay,
Yeah.
oh, so it's not 16, sorry, it must have been a C, yeah.
It says buildings contain combination of up to 9.
Yeah, it should say up to 9, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was, yeah, thanks.
okay, so, we were looking at the use. So we've got 2-family and multifamily containing 3 to 9 units as an approved by site plan, correct?
Yep.
But we don't, do we need to have, it used to say single family dwellings in there, do we need to say that again?
To say single family dwellings in the,
It
which zone,
it did,
5 corners.
yeah. It no longer does,
Huh.
but. Because I think at one time it said single family dwellings and then multifamily dwellings containing 2 to 9 units.
Yeah.
I thought that's what we. Does that make more sense? I mean, we don't wanna
Just prohibit
Outlaw-
single family, yeah.
single family
yeah.
homes in WBR, do we? I mean,
Oh, do you mean,
I mean,
on 5 corners?
oh, I'm sorry, 5 corners.
Okay, yeah.
But. Okay. So then let's go back to, I'm sorry, let's go back to WBR then, because that's got it.
Oh, it's 4-1C, sorry, 4-1C, not 4-2C, 4-1C. It's right there. Right
Ah,
there,
yeah.
it's a multifamily dwellings containing, it got crossed out.
Yeah, okay, so that's what we're gonna do.
Either up to 9 units or 2 to 9 units.
2 to
I
9,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's item 16.
Sure.
Okay. Now we're back. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And we could, I mean, there's no reason, actually, is there any reason to do then, 5 corners any differently? I mean, just single
No.
family and then 2 to 9?
Yep.
And there, at least it's at least consistent with the way we. Yeah, you were the one. Just
Oh, wait,
something,
No, down. 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 Well, up then.
yeah, it's up. Well, one more. One more. There. So we would have single family and then multifamily 2 to 9. That's what we did with.
No, we've been doing up to 9.
Did I see what I was talking about?
Well, we just did multifamily 2 to 9.
I think if you look up, go back up there, it says up to 9.
Yeah, that's for the mixed use buildings, but this would be for.
This is for multifamily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mixed use says up to 9.
Yeah.
Makes you so happy about it.
That's, I mean, the two things are equivalent. They're just different. Uh, So this has got a note 1,
No, then no 2, for it needs to the number.
right? It has note 2, but no note 2.
Should we take out, no, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then no. Yeah, it could just be.
And we don't know in no 1, or is that just referring to get more information?
It's the same. That's the same note 1 that keeps repeating. Okay, so, yeah, okay, we take that out. What was highlighted there?
Oh, that's in the comments I have not deleted yet. I meant to delete that one, but I think I just.
This is the one about, yeah,
Yeah,
industrial.
yeah, this was the one that I was to check with the attorney about for that, and so that's part of his comments I'm waiting for.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So tight. Anybody else? Section 4?
I had a comment on, I think it's 4/6. Or 6.
They're current use tables. So it's correct.
And it's also another thing about the use table format is that we have. Like this format across the board, and I think that use table, which I do prefer, is a newer one.
Okay.
So I think that these were just the older ones, and then that got added, so we just have 2 ways of referencing it, though.
What are you looking at, Colleen? What are you referencing?
Table 4.6.2.
Say again, for what?
4.6.2.
Okay, I have it down here, yes, I said.
Yeah.
The use table.
Yeah. And so I think that's probably why I have not touched it, was because there's like 2 different use tables per section 4, and I'm like, oh.
4.6.2.
Yes, so in table 4.62 or 4.6.2, there's a section called lodging. In the table. And somebody has inserted a definition for short-term rentals, just TBD, but it's not in the definition, so I'm not sure that it should be sitting there. Yeah, keep it going, right there. Just sitting like that.
So that's like a placeholder for the future.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's not in the defined
Yep,
terms, so
no,
it
you're-
kind of
yeah, you're right.
just is like a third rail kind of situation.
Yep. So I had, went on what I think was, I'm sorry, 4.6. At least in this one, it's 4.6E, or 4.6D. You already passed me.
Or 6D you're referring to.
Six, you know, is it, or it might be,
Move for
We
the
have-
table.
or 6D, yeah, so. We took out, I think. Yep, tried to fix all those, right?
Yeah.
So we took out these. We took out mixed use dwelling units, right?
Yes.
That,
Oh,
By
because it's
special-
permitted by special permit, and then we moved it to site plan approval.
even for larger ones,
For larger ones, I don't think that we
so, I mean,
did.
at one time, I thought we had a discussion about leaving it. Keeping a special permit requirement for 10 or more, 10+ units and. Mixed use of 10+ units. I mean, that's,
Not totally 10 plus. 10 plus.
In that 4.6D, 2 and 3 are examples of what I was saying about the definitions, like don't quite track. Just above gas stations.
So track changes are beyond my existence. What was it? Sorry.
Just to go up to 2 or 3, it says boarding, rooming, or lodging houses, but if you go to the definition section, it's worded differently as boarding and rooming houses, lodging, rooming, boarding, rooming, and lodging units. It's just the definition. It's just a slight disconnect with the way the defined terms are.
I would disagree. I would say, because this is defined in the things that and like I stated before, I think, the units are just. When we're referring to just part of it being the, unit thing, so that's where it would be.
Yeah, there's no lodging house though, in the defined terms. It's just boarding and rooming house or boarding, rooming, lodging unit,
Just make sure.
that's all.
Yeah.
So it's just a little unclear what you're trying to get at there. It's right there. No, next, keep going. It's under residential lodging facility, residential something facilities. I think.
And then there's no lodging. Should we just take out the lodging? Part or residential lodging facilities? I think that we should just change lodging, house lodging facilities, make it consistent. Or just change it,
You
Well-
can change it to residential lodging facilities.
yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of houses, facilities.
That's all, it just, you know what I mean, it was like a disconnect a little bit between all of that.
It's good. It's good.
But then we have boarding, rooming or lodging units.
Yeah, but residential boarding, rooming, or lodging facilities is the broader definition that captures all the underneath definitions.
Yeah, because the unit is,
Would be part of the.
is
Yeah.
one of the things, one of the
It's one of the
rooms
elements,
in the unit,
yeah,
in the facility, sorry.
yeah.
A unit is a room in the facility. Was gasoline stations another one that's not in the definitions, or? You mentioned gasoline stations, I didn't know if that was.
Oh, no, that was trying to say like,
That was-
where to go up.
Where to go,
Yeah, yeah.
what page we're on.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that was in there. But some of the group definitions are sometimes confusing because they're.
Table, I'm so. I've got, I'm in the tables now. Anybody else have anything before we get? So I'm in four, I guess it's 462. 462.
Section.
Four, six, two,
So we're mixed use residential, right? We, as I recall, and we're gonna allow all this, no matter what size they are by site plan, correct? The way this is written?
yeah,
Now, multifamily apartment buildings, 3+ units, all by site plan. But I recall when we were talking about, when we did the GC and GCR zones, that I thought we said that anything over four stories or 50 feet was gonna require we're gonna do a public hearing on that.
That on the dimensional approval.
so I think that's why I asked the mixed use residential from special permit approval, because I think I was trying to keep it consistent with the site plan around here, so I think that's why that was taken out in the first place, so that it could be bumped up to the site plan, but we can,
But as long as it's so. If it's less than, was it less than 16 units, we cannot do a public hearing, correct?
less than 9.
Less than 9,
Yeah.
okay. But, so that's why, again, I thought. Well. I distinctly remember a discussion about when we did the GCR 50, 75 and 75, that the building was gonna be more than 4 stories. We would, even though it was allowed by, by the zone, we would still do a public hearing, so we would that would require a special permit.
So should we add just another box here where it's a mixed use residential, more than 4 stories, special permit, special permit, special permit?
Or greater than 50 feet or something in it, but.
I remember that conversation too.
Right, and we said we would, it was over 4 stories, we would do it. And that's,
4 stories above land,
right,
yes.
right. We would do it, we'd do a special permit. Make sure we got all the input about it.
4 stories above land.
Yes, good, great. Yeah.
But I do think the stories are. Yeah, that we have some conversation about height and street grade, some more things.
And should I just amend the logistics of the mixed use being permitted? Should I just add that in the special permit section? Should that just be over 4 stories and then the rest just gets handled by site plan approval with the mixed use and wherever I amended that?
You wanna make it all consistent?
I'd love to.
We're already
Uh,
special permit for 10 plus, right?
yeah.
Well, if we had if there was a 10 unit or less building that was over 4 stories, I'd be surprised,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Picture it.
So,
Yeah, I can go back and fix this.
yeah, 4 stories was 50 feet. That was it. But yeah, I was, whatever way you think is best to express that, but
Yeah.
the 10 plus, I can't imagine a 10 unit or smaller building would be more than 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
I guess you could do it, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have any more comments on section 4?
Let's see, I'm back on 4 I think it's 4.62 table. So we've got, keep scrolling down, and we've got something about, there's a couple of references to food processing is you can't do industrial food processing. I don't know if we need them both, but it's probably not a big. There was a big to do about this at one time, but
There we go.
yeah. So we say catering and food processing, and then then the footnote says industrial. Somewhere there's a footnote that says industrial food processing is
No.
not allowed, which is okay, that's fine. But go ahead, can you keep scrolling down? Okay,
Oh,
there we
there
go.
we go.
Okay, so we say that, and then at the bottom of the table, at the very end of it, we have another list of things that you're not allowed. So there we go. So that's industrial food processing is not allowed again.
Oh, yeah, we marked that everywhere. Right on 3 pages.
And then we have, so we got, it's in 3
You guys
places.
are really against
That's, we really don't want people to do that, but do we need it, do we need to say that in 3 places? I mean, it doesn't. It's not a big deal. It's,
I call it, industrially processed food, and I'll say, well, no, it's that 3 times.
yeah.
Do we really want that?
The no end.
Well, only because of what was it, the oysters or the scallops? That we,
What was lobster?
Yeah, that was lobster. That was lobster.
yeah, but more recently, they were going to grow scallops or,
Oh, there was gonna be an oyster farm, yeah.
so is that food processing?
That's just growing now, that's aquaculture.
Yeah.
Processing.
Yeah,
That was the discussion we had before with
Oh,
whether, no, for an educational purpose, whether what they were doing was processing or just packaging. So,
oh, I thought they were just growing them.
no, this is lobsters.
Oh,
yeah, the lobsters, when they were cooking the lobsters, that was the thing.
how dare they?
They were cooking the lobsters thing at an industrial scale. That's how that got in there.
Just where it was mentioned 3 times.
Yeah,
Don't do this.
So how would that work with the more recent one that we were just talking about?
the oyster farm.
Yeah,
Well, they're just growing it,
Yeah, there's just aquaculture, it's not processing, it's just growing
and
them,
they were.
like corn.
I think they were, what they were planning to do. The thing that we approved was actually, like, I think, they were taking the harvested oysters and packaging them or something to, I don't know. But I don't think they were cooking them, because oysters are usually fresh.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So,
and they can't be opened, otherwise they die.
so they usually, they're either served fresh or cooked on site,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, shut on site.
The issue was that they were cooking lobsters and shipping the cooked lobster. That was,
okay. I just want to make sure that we don't forget everything.
EB owns that building permits.
Do they own the building?
Okay, anything else I do see that our footnote about buildings over 50 feet shall require a special permit. So we did get it in there somewhere,
At street level.
at street level. Yeah.
Good.
But
On 4.6.2 table. Civil support. So. Everything else is in all capitals, but community gardens and commercial set, because that's a subheading.
Run community gardens. Or read somewhere else.
So should that be capitalized?
Oh, I see that everything's all like capitalized
Yeah.
like that here,
Yeah.
and then there's.
In the dark rows, all the headings are capitalized, yeah.
I can go across the board and make sure that they're all in caps. 'Cause
okay. Catch. You finished with 4? Everybody else standing in 4? Save. All right, how about 5? Section 5 did not have much in the.
we only had
change,
one
right?
change,
Right, that was we had to take out the thing about the
the exemption of.
exemption of single family homes from CAM. You roll back up the open space stuff for a second.
Yep.
Okay. okay, so this isn't the, it's somewhere we say something about, needing 4,400 square feet of open space per unit, building. We could make sure that goes out.
I think that would have been
The
section 6.
Yeah.
Usually after some. Yeah, it's on. Section 6.
Yep, 6.2.7.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you're.
I had a comment in 6 too. I just need to get that.
Meanwhile, when we're getting there, we'll just see open space one.
Well, we were gonna take out the 400 square feet per, I don't know if we're gonna change it to a different number, but 400 is a very big number.
Yeah.
For. And I don't know if there's
Oh, 6-1.
a standard that you would use, or. I mean, as I recall the discussion from last meeting, we were just gonna take it out and let sort of a market determine how much, you know,
How much of it
open
is
space was required.
better.
6-1 is what I had to comment in. Where you have the table. Or like under number 2. Size of buildings, you then have this table for habitable rooms, but there's no like connection.
So that part's gonna be taken out.
Oh, okay.
The table goes in.
All right, yeah, because there's like no connection to like why it's there or what it means.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 6.2.1, I'm sorry. Was the might be, that might be in 6.1, actually. 6.1.1. Density.
Mhm.
Okay, so we got it.
Yeah.
We moved the 4,000 to 2,000.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, anybody else, anything, section 6?
There's just some minor things on 16, 13, 6, 13, and 14 where the numbering is just off, so I just call it out. I'm not gonna go through it all, but.
And I'll send the clean version out too, so that way if anybody, if there's anything formatting there, then. We got it, so, yeah. Cause then I will say I don't really trust myself with a perfect formatting.
And if you go to 613, I think it's 613 or 614H. I think it's meant to be 614H, but it is. I think maybe numbered 613, 614.
I have no.
It's 14. Yeah, H. Oh.
You have 614. You know, my ends at 613.
Yeah. Okay, weird. Historic and institutional adaptive reuse. It's-
613. With the historic institutions and adaptive reuse.
Oh, okay, so H, there's two. 613C H. Capital C, but then little h. Where it says community residential counseling facilities, and it's the same thing, rooming or boarding houses. it goes back to the whole lodging facilities thing where it's like confusing.
Oh, I see. Could houses be changed to facilities? Clean that up.
Yeah, well, the definition is like residential lodging facilities. And rooming or boarding houses is like one aspect of it, so I don't know if it's meant, what it's meant to capture, but because it started out with community residential housing facilities, which is another defined term, again, I just wasn't sure what it was trying to capture.
I think it's trying to capture the statute that was, I think somebody added this in when that statute came out where you had to treat group homes and all these other facilities as in the residential zone, like you can't prohibit it, so I think. that's
Yeah,
where it came
so
from.
I guess my question is rooming or boarding houses, is that meant to be the defined term residential lodging facilities or just one component of that defined term?
Probably one component of that defined term,
Okay.
yeah.
So there are rooming or boarding houses in in residential zones. But they're not considered compatible. So what is that?
But these are like,
This is this.
this doesn't mean the type of rooming or boarding houses you were thinking of. It's not like an inn, it's like,
Okay, point out.
yeah, typically, I think if you go back to residential lodging facility, that term, it's like talks about whether it's supervised or counseled or whatever.
It does
It
refer
was-
to component, so.
Right, but it,
And I think you're thinking.
Like back there.
well, I'm thinking of
We've got
Flats on
thinking of
Benham.
congregate. Congregate.
and
Living space.
No. Residential lodging facility. Boarding house, a dwelling providing unsupervised and uncounseled living situation in which meals or rooms or meals are provided for compensation to more than one. Then you have boarding, rooming or lodging unit, rooming house. And anyway, again, not clear what you're getting at there. So
Yeah.
that's why I was asking about it.
it's I mean it's really the I guess what I would have thought wanted to go in there was, you know, residential counseling facilities and halfway houses and things like that
Right.
would be more, which you would more think would not be sort of one of the residential neighborhood, right? That's the way I would. So
Where was the halfway house definition? Cause that's somewhere else.
That was under,
Where is it with it?
yeah,
Right,
with
with a
a
different-
C or something.
Black bay.
That's.
Institutional residential facilities, yeah.
Okay, so. I think that's what. Just what our minds go to when it starts with community residential counseling facilities. Then. Akin with institutional residential facilities. Not rooming boarding houses as defined by the definition. Am I thinking about that same?
Except that those are allowed, except that the institutional residential facilities are allowed in residential zones.
Okay.
Not all of them, but some of them, I think. For example, like they have this assisted living and the congregate housing, the convalescent home nursing, I don't know. Wait,
And where you have, where that.
that's just in the definition of institutional residential facility.
Yeah,
Anyway, I guess my question is, what is H getting at?
Yeah, what's intended there?
Yeah,
Regardless of what's there, what was the intention is the question.
so I do really think that this all does come down to the statute that says 8-3 G bars, zoning regulations from prohibiting community residences for certain mentally ill adults in the area zone for 2 or more dwelling units. Such residences may serve as transactional housing for such individuals that are formerly homeless. Although the 2 types of housing are identical, so it basically, the way I look at it, all these lodging facilities, halfway houses or whatever,
Institutional.
it's yeah, it's it would have to be. It's one of those, you have to be careful with it because it's I know some state statutes have come out where you cannot prohibit those from certain zones, like red fence zones, so yeah, I don't have a clear statutory language I usually refer to in front of me, but I know that this is something that I really want to be careful with and I don't really want to mess with.
Yeah, but can somebody look at this, because it's just not clear
Yeah,
how to interpret.
like I said, I'm waiting on the attorney's comments too, so yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that it would, yeah, it'd be helpful to just make sure we're in regulation with that H, because I think it could be construed either way.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at the community residential, it refers more to seeking to arrest, reverse, or ameliorate. The problem with disorder, including the compulsive use of alcohol or drugs. To me, this is more of
Because community residential counseling facility is one defined term under institutional residential facilities, which then made me wonder what the and rooming or boarding houses was meant to refer to. So that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, and then if the intention with H was to prohibit institutional residential facilities from this residential.
Well, at least one of them anyway, the community resident. The second definition is what's picked up there. I guess the question is what.
Yeah.
So I think just somebody should reflect on that, try to figure out what they're trying to do.
So what would be the intention there? So we want to take out the community, we don't want the community residential counseling facilities. That's right out of it. There's a definition of that, right?
Yeah, well, I think the whole question of H is that that's some sort of statutory language. What is it that they're driving at? Because right now they picked up one definition in institutional residential facilities and then they threw in a couple extra terms that are not part of institutional residential facilities. So what is it really that the statute is driving at?
I don't know, I'm not an attorney.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying like that, we should circle that and like definitely bring that to the attorney and say like, what, not just his general review, like this one, what is this? Statutorily, what are we supposed to be either prohibiting or not prohibiting? Yeah.
Well, what are we allowed to prohibit? What are we not allowed?
Yeah, exactly.
Be the question, I guess. But it's, I think it, I don't know. And to me, it would be like getting at more like at the halfway houses that didn't belong in residential.
I interpret it as the community residential refers to seeking arrest. That's more criminal, where the halfway house is more medical.
Drug addiction.
It can be drug addiction, but it's not somebody who's,
It's a treatment facility.
exactly.
Well,
Treatment.
but what we say is that it's under the jurisdiction of the state of Connecticut Department of Corrections.
Well, it can be, if somebody has a drug problem and goes to court, the judge may say, you have to go to rehabilitation, where this to me is of a criminal offense, community residential.
So it also says Department of Health and Addiction Services.
Yeah, you
So-
can have
so-
somebody who's addicted, but not a criminal.
Right, so I guess my question is, what was, I wasn't involved in writing that as far as I remember, but I don't know what we were trying to, what were we actually trying to prevent So it's community residential counseling facilities is clear. Rooming and boarding houses was probably maybe, I don't know, actually intended. But was there something else in this list we were trying to grab, like, people who are like, you know, on parole, right? Who are transitioning from prison to community life, are we trying to say that doesn't belong in our residential zone? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, either the attorney or COG or somebody should know what the heck this was trying to do. Because it seems quite specific to something that is sort of generic and it's not related to the city of Groton per se, yeah.
I think figuring out the intention is harder than figuring out what we're allowed to say and what we.
Yeah, that's why I'm not very comfortable with dealing with this right now because.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like, there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
Somebody has to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's the plan here. Like, not just for Groton, I mean, it's just for something broader. I don't know what it's meant to capture.
Well, yeah, the question is, what would we be allowed to say?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else? 6? Anybody? All right, 7.
7.1B, I had something very minor but important. Somebody typed in peak as in like I'm peeking at you instead of peak as in peak travel time.
7.1B.
7.1B, item 9 mixed. That's what I wrote in my notes. Is there something item 9? Oh yeah, other uses, industrial uses. Anyway, if you search for the word peak, P-E-E-K, just change it. Yeah, there you go. Oh, or somewhere in the public would have something to say.
It's probably something you would pick up, but the first one residential, the second one should probably be a shadowed also.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, the formatting of.
yeah, the format, there was some problems in formatting in 7.2 as well.
Yeah, those I went through and, I'm very aware of the numbering going on, so, yeah.
Yeah, there's also like a bunch of empty rows.
Clean section will be sent and you'll see. I think to renumber, section 7 in the clean version took me like an hour, so.
Yeah, there's like a big section of empty rows and then like the really important stuff is like shoved down at the bottom of the footer. In the compare versions.
Wow. On that number 8, we actually use the term halfway houses.
I saw that.
Community, I think it's supposed to be community for community.
No, it's community residential counseling facilities.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's just on the next page.
What charter facility?
There's 7.1
Okay,
under 9.
got
Eight.
it. 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then have these have been looked at for making sure we're not governing mixed multifamily. Yep. Good. And yep.
And then, I don't remember where it is, but I know you grabbed and highlighted that thing we were discussing last time about the church and stadium parking and all that.
Oh, parking as related to the
Yeah.
number of persons.
Yeah. And I just ran it through AI and they came up with a double pronged language, which refers to like so many people per seat and then, or so many people per square foot.
Yeah, I did a chat GPT run through with it.
Yeah.
But I was also, I think the hard part is when we define capacity, when it's going by the, structural capacity of it, it would add way too much parking requirements for something that really wouldn't need, parking space and, yeah, it is very hard to create a term that would say like for fixed event spaces. I think I might still have it in my chat GPT that of what
Is what you
it
have
suggested.
Yeah, is what you have there, what you painted?
No, I think that was,
That's what we
we
were
were
trying
trying
to there.
That was the.
That was what we
existing-
started, that was already there.
yeah, or a global growth floor area. So I think
I didn't remember the. There. Just.
Cause so I don't know what you got off of AI, but the one I got said one space per 3 fixed seats or one space per 2 persons of maximum designed occupancy, whichever is greater.
yeah, I think that's what was maximum designed occupancy. I don't know if we want.
That would be.
So it's okay.
Yeah, that's not, but design occupancy.
But you can
is
change the
not-
number of persons. I mean, you don't have to use what obviously AI gave us.
Right, but I don't think that, I don't know the design occupancy is the same as structural.
Right,
Yeah,
right, exactly.
So that,
right.
that might be what we're going for, is that like, what is the designed space?
I think we should change it to,
And also, it doesn't have to be one space per 2 persons. You can do one space per some other higher number of persons per designed occupancy.
What's the difference between design and structural?
Structural is like, at what point will the floor collapse or no one be able to leave the room in an efficient manner if there's a fire?
And
So
design
the
is,
worst case scenario. Design is, we want to be able to hold 100 people in this space.
Yeah.
How many chairs can we fit?
Or
so
how many
structural is
people
gonna
can
be more
stand in
people.
this space comfortably.
Yeah, depending on how you're designing the.
It's a
building.
standing room only.
So structural is gonna be more bodies.
Yeah, structural is your worst case.
So there are occupancy limits that are developed by the fire marshal based on
Yeah.
safety. correct?
Yeah,
Right, and those are your worst case scenarios.
yeah,
That's structural.
that's
That's,
structural, yeah.
that's akin to structural, yeah. So design is. Would be more like how the space should be used every day or.
Yeah, it's like,
Intended. Yeah.
like the space is, the structural space would be 150 people, but 150 people rarely are in this room. It's really kind of designed for more of like 20, 30 people or 50 people use it max. But yeah, so I think for this would be one space for each 4 fixed seats of the,
Design occupancy was
the what I, yeah, what I just. Or one space per X persons of maximum designed occupancy, whichever is greater.
it's why I say this in a sentence so that I'm.
Yeah,
Design
so it's
occupancy,
one
no,
space
from
per
this
X
person.
number of fixed seats,
Yeah.
or one space per X number of persons of maximum design. So if this one has 2 persons, but we could do a higher number. One space per some number of persons of maximum designed occupancy, comma, whichever is greater. It's one space per. Or 4, I guess, let's use the word for. Per. No, it's not 6 seats, it's one space per some number of persons.
Say this in a full sentence, please.
Yeah, so it's one space for each 4 fixed seats, right? Or one space per some number of persons, 2, 3, 4, of maximum designed occupancy.
What is the final sentence?
That
It
is.
is this is the
hasn't
sentence,
worked.
I'm reading it, it's one space for each. One space per 4 fixed seats. Or one space per. And we have to come up with a number, here they use 2 or 3, but
Just put X for now.
yeah,
Gotcha.
X. Persons. Of maximum. Designed occupancy. Comma. Whichever is greater. So we just need to come up with some number of persons for the standing room situation.
How about 4?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Let's plug in 4. And run with it.
Do we need to define designed occupancy, maximum design?
This is something that it's an original for doing the site plan. We always have to know it or provide. So we're building a church, I've done before. The congregation will say, if we want space for 200 people, so that would be your maximum design. Yeah. So
Okay,
it's just, yeah.
all right. 7, right?
Yep.
All right, so. We've got some in I've got some stuff in 7.5. Well, I mean, so here. Well, this is the parking at, yeah, so, I'm sorry, so I guess it's 7.4 in this version. Signs, yeah. So signs were, that graphic comes out, correct?
Yes.
That's gonna be the graphic. Okay, so that comes out.
Yeah, so.
7.4, I guess it's 7.4G.
Prohibited sign?
Yeah, see this one's hard because it's
There we go.
Oh, goodness.
7.4G. So we've got,
It's all crossed out.
if you go to, yeah. Scroll, I'm sorry, just scroll up a little bit. So we're talking about wall mounted signs, right? Scroll up a little bit. So then we've got specific to that zone is not, is, and then all of a sudden specific to the GC zone is another section, which doesn't, I don't think it's,
Well, is wall mounted sign crossed out or not?
no, wall mounted sign stays,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
right? So, but then we've got a list of it, so we've got it in the IT zone, then we've got it in the GC zone. But I don't know why the GC zone is a separate section, because it's still wall mounted signs,
Right.
right?
Right.
And if you go down like
Yeah, the
further,
way it reads, like, cause I don't think this even addresses. The wall mounted sign, but the way it reads, it looks like it's a continuation of that section, but it's really not.
Because then you go below and there's more wall mounted sign. Stuff
Right,
versus
right,
specific
this is all wall mounted signs.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's,
So it's.
so it,
Section. that
right,
sign
so that shouldn't be a
Okay.
separate section, that should just be specific to the,
Yeah,
that's specific to zones IT and TC.
Because then there's another one below that is specific.
Right, but it's not a
Right
separate
there.
section.
We found more wall mounted.
and that's specific to zones GC, so that's another.
Right, and so it, and also wherever it says GC, should it also say GCR? because this was drafted before we did the GCR zone. And I think the same thing applies to the one above too, it just. Cause the.
So those sections have like some kind of 1, 2, 3 or ABC or something so that you can find them.
Well, it would make sense, but
So you can cite to them.
yeah. But they're all part of the wall mounted sign, so they don't need to have a separate section number, but they could have a.
Wait,
You could go into lowercase Roman numerals.
Well, whatever the
That's
other,
gonna
whatever the
get real
prior
foxy.
number is, but anyway, they should
Yeah, so
somehow
it
be
would be,
put down.
it would be 7-4H1. But, yeah, so it needs to be numbered, but.
Yeah.
But one of those is an extra heading,
Yeah.
an extra section, and also wherever you see GC, I think we should also add GCR. Right, because.
For signs.
For signs,
Yeah.
because these were all written before. Well, this was drafted before GCR was a thing. So any place where. And WBR mixed or commercial use, so.
There's a GC at 74J. Oh, there's lots of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
Okay,
go through one
IJ, yeah.
later.
okay, so there was that. I had another one in I think it's 74G, if you don't mind going back to that. Well, I think we didn't. 74G, so it's gonna be further down. Under what was 74G. All right, so this is,
Might have deleted.
we might have zapped. Is that
Yeah.
something I zapped? Anyway, so there's a statement about 3 feet maximum. Where is it? It was 74G. It was GC, FC, WVR, mixed use and commercial. Okay, it says. Should not exceed the total square footage for section 7(4)D measurement of area. And that measurement of area allows it to be 18 feet by 14 feet, 14 by 48 feet. Which is a really big sign.
Is it meant to be?
It's 672 square feet. So there's one of these that says that, so that's that, I don't think it's, well, anyway.
Can you just
I
do a
can't-
search for?
I can't find it. I can't see
Yeah.
it now.
If you wanna go back and mark it up and then send it to me.
Okay, I'll do
you
that.
know.
But right where you are now,
Yeah,
there's no section about visibility at intersections. That section doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So that's gotta come out.
Yeah.
Wherever it is. I mean, that's in a couple of places, but there's no section about that.
feel free to come back to the part and send it to me to send.
Well, there's a scroll, you could just scroll up just to look at that. So there is a section about where was that? I guess keep going up. There's a section about corner visibility. So, which kind of
Get the intersection.
it gets intersections, but there's no section about intersection. So it's anyway.
You go up to 740. Please. Okay, Um, a big chart goes like that. Yeah. That doesn't read any bigger.
The chart above this.
See the two blue lines with this.
Oh, yeah,
So please just change that coloring.
Yeah.
And the chart below it too.
Are we deleting that whole chart though?
yeah, I think we're deleting that.
Oh,
It's
okay,
just coming up.
all right. Excellent.
The same is true for the next.
Yeah, the next one down has the same issue though.
Oh, right?
Maximum. Because of all the shading and all the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What's the problem with this?
The shading is making it so that when it's on paper, it doesn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that might get fixed when it's
Yeah,
Right.
when it's accepted, right?
feel free to like edit the clean version of it, cause yeah.
You cannot review your own work.
Exactly, yes. I'll take all the helping hands I can get for you. So,
So if we go to 7.5N.
Say N?
N, yeah, as in Nancy. So temporary signs this doesn't allow any temporary signs in residential zones,
Oh, thank you.
right?
Yes.
I mean, the way it reads.
yeah, should we add specific to zones, to all
Well, I mean,
residential?
it's like it applies to all zones, doesn't it? I mean, if we've got,
It's somewhat more, but.
Or to be specific to all zones?
well, I think, right, because we're gonna have these kind of signs are gonna show up, right?
Mhm.
In unless you want to make a special one for, like a real estate advertising sign, that's gonna end up being, you'll have that in a residential zone.
Mm.
There's, I think if you scroll down, there's things about, contractor
Oh,
signs, lawn signs, that, all that stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
In residential zones, but I didn't see any. I think the wording we used was all, but
Good grief.
makes.
Any further comments to section 7?
No, everything else I had was formatting, I think.
It's all.
Section.
8, 9, and the appendix of the also.
Just 8 was pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, I'm doing anything, change to 8.
There was, I think there was one we had to add. We added something on H, but there was one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there were those, yeah. There was some, we had to add a section to 8 about.
I think that was in 9, the extra summary review section.
Well, yeah, that's definitely in 9.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we I didn't think any.
Yeah, the summary review piece.
Yep.
This is all required by the statute, right? Anybody have anything on 8 or 9?
Yeah, so to wrap it all up, I will probably, well, not probably, I will send you guys, what I cleaned up all the formatting on the marked versions and then go in the clean version, I'll clean it up as best as to my ability. I will send you guys, if I get back here from the attorney, I will send you guys back the attorney's comments, I will, send you guys clean version and also the marked up version, that kind of ones that will be in the town clerk's office for, people to look at, and I'll take care of the referrals, hopefully I'll send all those out on Thursday for goals, but I will be here until I do that. But, that's kind of, and then for the public hearing itself, I'm just gonna, make a summary sheet so that I can hit all of those that of what we changed about regulations, and then if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to take questions and all that other stuff, so. It's my plan regarding this, but.
All right, so is it, with all this back and forth about the formatting and things like
Yeah.
that, is it really realistic to go to a public hearing and get all that done and go to a public hearing in September?
If you wanna set it for October, that is also fine too.
Not exactly the answer.
Feel like because it's August and there's still like Labor Day and something like that, this might be ambitious for the attorney and you to complete everything, but maybe I'm being cautious, yeah.
Well, but, and we've got a lot, we still have some cleanup to do here, right? So seems to me we ought to make sure we've got all the cleanup done in September and then go to a public hearing in
Yeah.
October.
So that you present something
So
where
every-
people aren't confused.
Right, so we've got it, so it's all clear and, right, that's what I think. That's,
I agree.
okay, so we're in alignment about that, so we look for a public hearing in October. We'll take one last look at everything all cleaned up with everybody's formatting and
And the attorney's
the
comment.
attorney's comments and all that
And all
in
the-
September. And then we'll go public hearing in October.
Yeah, and I can start referring them for the September meeting, so I can be more in line with the statutory deadlines for referring everything and all that good stuff, so.
Fine.
Our, my understanding is a lot of the towns aren't meeting the deadlines.
Oh,
Yeah,
we already
yeah,
missed it.
correct.
Huh?
Yeah.
We already missed it.
Yeah,
So, I would say half the town.
I mean, like, not even close, like, you're even trying for 26, I'm saying, like, my understanding is a lot of towns are like not even close.
Yeah, I would say like 25% of towns in the Seacog region have gone through these changes, but there are many that have not reached a deadline, and no one's gonna come down and kill us if we do not pass a regulations time, so but we do have to abide by them now. It's just making sure that they're all consistent with state law. But yeah, we are just in line with the other towns of not being exactly caught up, because when this housing bill was passed, or when it was signed in November, nobody updated the deadlines that was proposed in the original bill. So that's why it's all pushed up to what seems like these unreasonable deadlines to me. They were actually supposed to be pushed back a little bit, but yeah.
So, but nobody's gonna come after us for.
Yeah, no one's gonna come
Yeah.
after us.
But moving
And
from
like I said,
September to
my understanding is a lot of towns are using their own timeline
Yep.
in any case, because they just have too much to get through, yeah.
So we're, if we go to October, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
It seems like this town or city, whatever, is like a little on the faster side compared to some of the towns I've
Cause you got me.
talked to, yeah.
Good work, Taylor. That's it. Because of me.
I will say, and because you guys do, you guys definitely help, so.
All right, so we're finished talking about the regs for tonight. we've got some more work to do. Next thing on the agenda is discussion. And item we have there is the planning and zoning bylaws update, which Bob, thank you very much for the homework you did. It's appreciated that to get us caught up with the current statutes and things like that. So much appreciated. And we're just waiting on the attorney to say
Your name.
looks good.
I had one change actually, so I'll just bring it up.
You want t-shirts? We should.
No, no. In section, I think it's section 8. The one about the telephonic, when you can do the telephonic meetings. Stuff the pages back.
Did you have a Connecticut?
Oh, yeah, I made that little part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, section 8, article 7, section 8, electronic, remote or hybrid meetings. Just the section that talks about the roll call voting. So, so it goes over here. So. It says, conduct all votes by roll call whenever any member participates electronically. It should just say, unless the vote is unanimous. Because then you don't have to do roll call. According to the statute. That's all. I was just gonna add it in there, so you didn't end up doing roll call votes when you didn't need to.
That's good. Okay. He said, how do we, what do I have to do so should we roll that into
The mark, yeah.
Into
Andrew,
Bob's
if you can
markup.
Tell me like which section it is, I can go back in and then mark it up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can just send it to you. I
Okay.
could put some language in red.
that's good of you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, during COVID, did them all by, we did them all by roll call. Everybody was it's not the end of the world.
But now you have you could have a hybrid.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
That. No, I haven't lived through that. I'm agreeing with you that it would be good to
Not have to do
to
it.
limit the
Yeah.
times you have to do that, yeah. All right, so section 8, so we'll do. All right, the other thing I wanted to bring up during discussion was the short-term rentals, the mayor. Probably all read this in the paper, but to get it on the record, the mayor asked the council to establish a committee to study short-term rentals and to make recommendations on next steps. So that's where we are with that.
So like East Lyme,
That's what East Lyme can do.
yeah.
So
And that committee would consist of whom?
the proposal that what the mayor asked the council to was to put 2 members from the planning, 2 people from the planning and zoning commission, 2 people from the council. And some as short-term rental owner
Owners.
or operator. And I'm not sure what else, if there were other members of the,
Yeah, I think you got at least 3 groups that were for so.
Maybe just 2 random community people.
and that's other community we could add. I mean, that's up to the mayor and the council, but the,
And what's the timetable for that?
I'm not too sure. Yeah, I don't got a date where this is all come about.
well, it was the mayor made a request to the council.
Yep. Yeah, so I
To
think
do that,
it's
so-
the work for a timetable to come
So
out. So,
that was-
yeah.
That was, I wasn't at the meeting, but that's what
Same.
my understanding of what occurred. So it's getting started. Anybody have anything else? All right, so a motion to adjourn,
So move.
motion to adjourn by Mr. Williams,
second.
second that was. Andrea?
Yep.
Second by Edelman.